Hello, this is Angela with Progress Permaculture. I'm here with my eldest kid, Ruth, and we are going to answer a question that I got repeatedly on a recent video. So last week I did a video on pawpaws, Asimina triloba, one of my favorite tree crops here in my permaculture garden. So in that video, I had recommended that if you want to plant a pawpaw in your garden, you find someone who is growing it and you taste it first. Especially if you have limited space, and especially with something like a pawpaw where you need 2 different trees in order to get fruit set, and you're taking up even more space in your garden, and that tree may not fruit for 5-7 years, it is an investment. You don't want to go through all of that and grow something that you don't like to eat at the end. So I said, if you can find somewhere where you can taste a pawpaw, go for it. So I was inundated with folks asking if they could buy pawpaws from my trees. And unfortunately, I'm not going to have enough available because I've already promised a number of them to friends and family. And also we're going to eat a bunch of them ourselves. If you can't find someone where you are who is growing them to taste them for yourself, I thought that I would honor the request of all of the folks who asked, could you taste them on camera and describe it for us? So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna try it, Ruth's gonna try it. We'll see if we can wrangle at least one of my other kids and give you our feedback. First, let's talk about what you don't want in selecting a right pawpaw. When you pick your pawpaws off the tree, they should kind of give a little bit like a banana that is yellow in color. And they shouldn't be rock hard, and it should come very easily off the tree. A lot of folks wait until they hit the ground and they just collect them off the ground, especially if you're foraging and they're too high to reach yourself without a ladder, right? Pawpaws bruise incredibly easily, and once they hit the ground, they go very fast. So you can see this one here. You don't want to eat it when they look like this, bruised and over brown. You want them when they have kind of a yellowish tinge, and there may be some black spots to them, but they're green with a yellowish tinge. The flavor gets more funky the longer they sit on your counter and the more the skin turns yellow and brownish. Some folks like it super funky and some folks don't. Kind of like how I enjoy a banana when it is yellow and still green on the ends, and my husband enjoys them when they are yellow with brown spots, which is just wrong.
I enjoy them fully green.
Yeah, Ruth likes them super green. So it's the same thing, like the flavor changes. There is a reason that the pawpaw is called the Indiana banana, and that's because it has a lot of similar characteristics. So before we eat it, let's just tell you what it smells like, because it's a very aromatic fruit. So I'm gonna smell one. Ruth, what do you think they smell like?
Quite similar to a mango.
They definitely, to me, have a very mango-y smell, a mix of mango and kind of overripe banana smell. A little bit like, there's a little funk to them. I don't know how to pick a better word than funk, but pick another one here.
A little bit like a jackfruit almost.
Yeah, there is a jackfruit quality to them. Oh, I also want to say, if you're selecting pawpaws off your tree or in the wild, sometimes you'll get little guys like this, especially the first few years that your pawpaw produces. You may not get the big honkin' ones. Do you see the difference? So these are still perfectly good to eat. They just have less flesh compared to seeds and skin. As your pawpaw matures, you'll get a mix of different sizes. Just because these are smaller, they're still perfectly edible. Okay, so smells a little bit like jackfruit plus funky banana plus mango. Let's cut into it and show you what it looks like. Should we flip the camera around real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no way to get into a pawpaw without like literally cutting through the seeds and mashing it. Like, there's just no good way to cut into a pawpaw because the seeds go through the whole middle of the fruit.
It's just how it rolls.
Okay, so when you cut into the pawpaw, the first thing you'll notice is that there's some very large seeds. They're very dark. Get one out here for you. Not edible. Do not eat these. They have a very short shelf life, and if you want to germinate them, you basically need to plant them right away. Also, my varieties are grafted, so these will not come true from seed, but you will get a seedling with some surprising characteristics. So you don't want to eat the seed. It's not good for you. You don't want to eat the skin. And as with any new fruit, you don't want to eat too much at once. Right? If I've never had peaches before, I don't want to sit down and eat 4 of them. I want to eat a little bit and see how my stomach does. So we have cut open one pawpaw. Ruth, what do you think? What is your first reaction once we've cut it open?
It smells a lot stronger once you cut it open. Definitely that kind of jackfruit funk, almost a little bit like socks. But if you ever had jackfruit, yeah, it's in a good way. It also kind of has that like strong, sharp, burns your throat smell, like a kiwi almost.
Mm-hmm. It does. It has a very kind of tropical quality to it. And definitely kind of a smells weird, but in an appetizing way quality to it. So we're going to taste this. We wrangled B. You want to say hi, B? We wrangled B. Hi. And she's going to try it with us. So let's see.
I disagree. I think it smells like mangoes.
You think it smells like mangoes?
It smells like
It
green.
does smell like mango.
So be aware that eating underripe pawpaws, eating the skin and eating the seeds can give you some serious GI upset. So you want to make sure that you only eat the edible parts. I know folks can have a lot of trepidation when it comes to eating pawpaws because it's an unknown fruit. But just like you know not to eat the banana peel, it's a cultural issue, right? We don't have pawpaws in our normal diet, and so we don't necessarily know how to prepare and enjoy them appropriately. You can eat it raw, make sure you eat it ripe, and make sure you don't eat the seeds or the skin. B, what do you think it smells like?
Green mangoes.
Green mangoes. Okay, you want to take a bite? Here. Oh, okay, that works too. What do you think?
It's very, very sweet. It tastes
Interesting.
kind of like sorbet.
Yeah. It's a lot sweeter than I expected.
Yeah.
I expect it to be a lot more sour.
So, right off the bat, the first thing I think is that it has a texture very much like mashed bananas. It's very creamy. If you've had other fruit in the custard apple family, it's that same creamy quality. It is very sweet, right? You can help yourself. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal the spoon from you.
That's okay. It tastes a lot more like bananas than I was expecting. I did expect a much more mango, jackfruit, acidic kind of flavor. If I was eating this like as dessert, I would probably put some lime juice on it for more acidity.
Yeah, so there is a way, it doesn't taste anything like a fig, but there's a way it has that same kind of characteristic of it lacks acidity. And so much like a banana, right? It's not an acid fruit. It's creamy, it's custardy. Folks say it has a little hint of vanilla to it. I think very much it has that flavor of a mango and a banana without any of the acidity of a mango. And it is very creamy like mashed bananas. Any other thoughts? B, do you have any other thoughts before you dash off?
I feel like it tastes kind of like a sorbet. Like, you know those like island sorbets from Costco?
Oh, So I will say, some folks say it has a kind of coconutty quality to it, or like a pina colada without the acidity. So that pineapple plus coconut, but no acid to it. It's very, very creamy. So one thing I will say is that some varieties have more of an aftertaste than others. So kind of that funky smell can get passed along in an aftertaste.
It almost tastes like starchy, like a potato or like a taro root.
Yeah, so that's very true. I do feel like there is kind of like an almost starchy after quality to it. That's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that before. So some of the varieties have more of an aftertaste than others. Wild pawpaws have a huge variation in the quality of flavor and texture and size. All of the pawpaws on the market, for the most part, you need 2 different varieties to cross-pollinate to get fruit. And I personally really like the improved Peterson varieties. They're larger, they have a better quality flavor, and you can see there's a lot more flesh to seed ratio. So you get a better ratio between the 2 of them. There is less pulp in a lot of the wild varieties or some of the other varieties that aren't as good. One thing I think it's important to note is that a lot of people like a variety called Sunflower because it is self-fertile. It will set better fruit with 2. But I have found that Sunflower has more of that kind of, not exactly acrid, but like a little bit unpleasant aftertaste that the improved Peterson varieties of pawpaws don't have. It's that kind of weird aftertaste you can get from the wild ones but that the cultivated varieties lack. So for me, I feel like the flavor is creamy banana with a little tiny bit of vanilla. Ruth was saying mango without the acidity. Any other last thoughts?
The aftertaste is almost kind of like a gummy berry. Like it kind of has that burn your mouth, not quite astringent, but like very noticeable after feeling, but without the actual acidity.
So I hope that's helpful for you. There is nothing like a pawpaw available in the American consumer market right now. If you don't grow them, if you don't have someone literally in your neighborhood that grows them because they do not ship, the season is only a few short days, you can't enjoy them unless you live somewhere where you can forage them in the wild, and then the quality can be kind of hit or miss a little bit. Pawpaws freeze really well. Because they are creamy and banana-like, they make great ice cream. I made banana bread with them last winter, and I thought it was great. My kids were like, why does this banana bread taste off? So I would just say, if you're gonna put it in baked goods, if you expect a straight banana flavor, you're gonna be maybe disappointed. If you can appreciate an unusual fruit for the qualities that it has that are reminiscent of fruits that you love, but also set the expectations of your taste buds that this is something unique and I will appreciate it for what it is, I think you won't be disappointed. I love pawpaws. I love that they're ephemeral, that they're only available for a very short period of time. I can't enjoy them unless I grow them. They have that tropical, creamy, lovely quality to them that you cannot get anywhere else in a temperate garden. So thanks for watching today. I hope this was helpful. I hope that Ruth and Bea and I helped you maybe get a better idea of what pawpaws taste like, and maybe that helps tip the scales one way or the other for whether you want to grow them at home in your own garden. I'll be back very soon from outdoors in my permaculture garden here in Portland, Oregon. Thanks.